We know that people feel lonely around many people. In fact, in my work, we have a name for that. We call it crisis of belonging. I know that I'm walking through a world where I'm surrounded by people who are surrounded by people feeling lonely. The Surgeon General has declared this time a loneliness epidemic for the United States. The research is really clear. So for example, when I'm out in the world, I remember as I'm at a burger place that according to some research, less than half Americans have 4 friends. Or said differently, half people I see do not have 4 friends to call upon for help. And when we look, the research of young people, say 18 to 24, it indicates that roughly 80% of them say they're lonely. So that would be loneliness. And in my work, I think we're working on the opposite of that. And at this point in my work, I only work with people who are in some sort of leadership role, formal or informal. And when we're talking about taking a leadership role and creating belonging, all we're talking about is doing the things that facilitate the knitting together of the relationships that allow people to feel connected. And in my work, I have a very simple definition for community. It's a group of people who share mutual concern for one another. That's a very important definition because I don't care if you dress alike. I don't care if you play the same sports. I don't really care if you live close to each other. All that really helps. What I care about is after you've done whatever you do, invite people to an event, host something that's special, that when you're done, there are people there who care about the other people more. And this is unfortunately relevant because we live in a time where there are people who call themselves marketers are claiming they're building community. And what they're really doing is trying to bring people together to extract something. It's usually attention, time, or money. And that's how our economy works. I'm not vilifying that. But that's not what I'm helping people do. And that is not the activity that's going to help us overcome this loneliness epidemic that our own Surgeon General has declared.
Yeah. So you say that you do a lot of work with leaders, that you primarily like to work with people in leadership roles. Let's get a little bit more practical. What are some of the key behaviors or practices that you are guiding these leaders to put into place, either with their own teams, in their own groups, or as part of their organizations? Operations?
Right. That's a great question. So when I started at the beginning, we started at the beginning. And that is, we need to recognize that it just takes time for people to become connected. And I go to a lot of places where they would love everybody to feel connected and they love the benefits that come from that. They just don't want to commit any time to it. I know, Jessica, you and I have spoke about organizations that want all kinds of health benefits as long as it costs nothing and takes no time. So the first is acknowledge it takes time. And we know that it takes hours. There's some different numbers on that, but it takes dozens of hours to create friends. So it's not going to happen in 90 minutes. And it's not going to happen at 45 minutes with cupcakes at the office, so to speak. And it doesn't happen in one day, but it's going to take time. So first of all, you're going to have to schedule that. And it needs to be scheduled in a way where other things aren't competing with the experience of creating those friendships. So if you create a retreat, but the whole retreat is about accomplishing decision-making for the next year, it's competing with that relationship building. But we'll get really nitty-gritty. Everything starts with an invitation to this time that I just referenced we need to set aside. And whenever I go to an organization and they say something to the effect of, there's this group of people, be they parents or they're medical professionals or whatnot, we want them to we've tried everything and they just won't get engaged. I know my first question, and it is, well, what are you inviting them to? And in my work, an invitation is a request to spend time where other people know that someone cares if they show up. And if everyone that you think you're inviting does not know that someone cares if they show up, we have a name for that. It's called an announcement. And there's nothing wrong with an announcement, and large organizations, including schools and hospitals, need to make announcements, but just know they're not invitations. So it's not enough. And when I find out that there are either no invitations going out or there are very few invitations going out, like one in October or welcome something, or you're inviting people to things they don't want to come to, right? A noisy bar on a Friday night when parents want to be with their kids, then I know that's where we need to start. Because I don't care what your aspirations are. If I see there are no invitations or not enough invitations or invitations to things people don't want to come to, then nothing's going to move. So that's where we start. And quite frankly, that is often enough to unlock a lot of stuff. I can't tell you how many organizations have said to me after a visit, wow, we started looking at what we're inviting people to, and everything changed. Because part of the invitation is to make sure that you're not hoarding them or saving them for the one big event, the annual event. 45-minute lunch meetings, lunch times count. Walks around lakes count. 50-minute conversations at a conference before a session count. And we can look to see how we're encouraging people to extend these invitations to knit together those relationships.